Hello, greetings, and salutations. Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Skilhollow, veteran casual gamer and your host. In this first video, we're going to take a look at Star Citizen. Whoops, wrong track. Let's try that again. That's better. Right. So, what is Star Citizen? What can you do in it? Is it worth your time and money? And why should you be so excited about it? Well, first of all, as the name sort of implies, Star Citizen is a space game. And like any good space game, there's plenty of opportunity to fly around in a variety of sexy-looking spaceships, shooting the crap out of anything and everything. The game also has non-combat roles as well. Trading, mining, exploring, repair work, salvage, refueling. There's plenty to do once you've satisfied your inner 8-year-old, believe me. Alright, Skilhollow, so far so good, but why is this so exciting? There have been games like this before, right? Well, not really, because Star Citizen doesn't stop with just having lots of ships. In addition to all of that wonderful, hot ship-on-ship action, this game also lets you run around in first person. In fact, first person is at the core of what makes this particular space game so different from anything that's come before. Unlike many prior space games, when you make your character, that is and remains your avatar into the Star Citizen world. Everything you do, everything you interact with, all of it is through this avatar. So, you can run around on foot, or float around in space as the case may be, talk to NPCs, explore, get into firefights, etc., just like a more traditional first-person game. However, at any point you can also opt to jump into a ship and fly it around instead, like in a more traditional space game. But where Star Citizen is revolutionary is that it combines both of these traditional mechanics seamlessly all the time. In effect, Star Citizen is more like an open roam sandbox game than a traditional space combat game. If you've ever played games like the newer releases of the Elder Scrolls or the Grand Theft Auto series, the ability to run more or less freely through the game world, interacting with whatever you find there, is a lot like what you can do in Star Citizen. Only in Star Citizen, all this is in space. How cool is that? When you board a spaceship, your character is actually in the ship, and you can exit at any time to move around in first person again. But hold on, it gets even better. The ships in this game aren't just fighters. Some of them are bigger, much bigger. And with these bigger ships comes the ability to move around inside them, even while they're in flight. And Star Citizen is a multiplayer game. Did I forget to mention that already? That's right, you won't be running around this big beautiful game full of big beautiful ships alone. Oh no, you can invite your friends and crew up a ship together. So, if you're a space weenie like me, you're probably pretty excited by all of this. But before you rush out to sell your Star Wars paraphernalia for pledge money, there's probably one more thing I should mention first. Star Citizen isn't finished yet. Not by a long shot. At the time of this recording, Star Citizen is still very much in alpha. For those who don't know, an alpha stage is where a game developer is putting various bits of the game into a series of builds. This lets them test out how everything is working in rough before they get down to polishing it up to actually work correctly. At this stage, nothing has been optimized, most everything is still under development, anything and everything can and will change, there are glitches, bugs, etc. The game is nowhere near a release build yet, and most of what you're seeing is either pre-rendered cinematics or scenes from a playable alpha build. The operational parts of the game are, at the moment, more or less a glorified tech demo. Okay, so it's a very impressive tech demo, and it can be a lot of fun to play. Personally, I've killed more hours than I care to count playing various builds of this game already. Still, at the end of the day, Star Citizen probably isn't quite ready to be called a game yet, though it is getting there, and they're adding new content all the time. Hold on, Skilhollow. I thought I'd heard they'd already made millions off of this game. Well, this is true. They have received millions, though the money has been going to fund creating the game. As of the end of April 2016, Cloud Imperium Games, the company making Star Citizen, has received over $113 million in crowdfunding and pledges for the game. That's right, $113 million for a game that's still in development. Well, why in the world would anyone throw that much money at a game that isn't even out of alpha yet? The answer to that question probably has as much to do with the name of the man who came up with the idea for Star Citizen as any other single factor, and that name is Chris Roberts. Because of him, what do you mean, who is he? Chris Roberts, the guy behind all of those space games. Like Starlancer, the Privateers, Freelancer, the Wing Commander series? Right. Well, there are plenty of good reasons you might not know who Chris Roberts is. You might not have been into space games before, or maybe you weren't much of a gamer at all during the 90s. It even could be you hadn't been born yet. If you don't already know who Chris Roberts is, don't worry too much about it. For now, it's probably enough to know that Chris Roberts made a series of memorable space games during the 90s and early 2000s, and his name carries a lot of weight in some gaming circles. He is the reason so many gamers are doing handsprings and taking out second mortgages to help fund his new game, and one of the biggest reasons Star Citizen is the most successful crowdfunding project in human history. If you'd like to know more about the man and his career, I imagine there are plenty of places to go online where you can probably find out more than you ever wanted to know about Chris Roberts. So, back to the game. The fluff information and background are all very interesting, but what can you actually do in it right now? Well, we're going to take a brief look at the features that are available currently. Like I said before, please keep in mind that this is all still in alpha and not a finished product. The first, and perhaps oldest interactive feature available in Star Citizen is access to your hangar. That's right, you don't just get spaceships, you get hangars to put them in as well. And in these hangars, of which there are 4 different models currently, you can walk around, look at, and interact with all the ships you've pledged for, assuming they've been modeled in-game, which not all currently are. I've probably spent hours just climbing around, on, and in various ships in my hangar areas. It is a silly amount of fun. Then there's Arena Commander, Star Citizen's dogfighting simulator and second oldest playable feature in the game. In Arena Commander, you can fly your ships, if they're flight ready, in any of several different modes. There's free flight, where you can fly around a small area just getting a feel for your ship, or trying out custom loadouts without anyone or anything shooting back at you. There's also a mode called Vandal Swarm, where you can try to fight your way through 18 waves of AI alien attackers. Or you can try your hand at racing. Yes, Star Citizen has ship racing. There's also a training mission simulation, though getting it to work has been problematic. Say it with me, everyone. Alpha. And Arena Commander also has online multiplayer available as well. You can fight other players in free-for-all rounds, team battles, or a mode called Capture the Core, which is basically Star Citizen's version of Capture the Flag. You can also invite other players, up to 3 others, to join you in attempting to clear the Vandal Swarm mode cooperatively. There is some good fun to be found here, and as long as you play public matches, you even get to see your scores on an online leaderboard at the Star Citizen website. Next up, we have ArcCore. Well, what's an ArcCore? ArcCore is the first iteration of on-foot multiplayer in Star Citizen, the first time players could actually see and interact with each other. Well, other than blowing up one another's ships in Arena Commander anyway. It's a modest-sized area where you can walk around, look at the various shops and buildings, and marvel at the amazing fidelity and graphics. There isn't much to actually do in this zone just yet, though with shopping and persistence on the way, this could change in the not-too-distant future. And it can be fun to jog around just taking in the sights. Last, but most certainly not least, there's Port Olisar. Now this is the big one, and something backers of the game have waited for a long time.
A long time.
Port Olisar is the current gateway to Star Citizen's big playable testing area, the Crusader system. Here you can run or float around in first person, you can fly ships around, to, and from various stations, asteroid fields, planets, and moons. You can run through the handful of missions CIG currently have in the game, and more, all while interacting with, and sometimes being blown up by, other players. So far, the interacting is limited to text, chat, and emotes, some of which don't work correctly, and of course blowing each other into space debris, or possibly into messy splatters if they're inside a station. This is even more impressive than it sounds when you consider that everything that's happening in the Crusader system is happening in real time. Wherever anyone goes, whatever they do, anywhere in the system, it is actually happening in-game all the time. You can climb in and out of any of the ships, small and large, whenever you want, explore any of the stations you visit, get into dogfights, gunfights, whatever, and it's all happening seamlessly in-game. And CIG has been steadily adding features and gameplay mechanics, so Crusader is only going to get better. I admit that there's not all that much to do in terms of official content just yet. There are only a handful of missions available in Crusader, pitting you against a few modest environmental challenges and the odd pirate, though the one where you get to play detective is still a personal favorite of mine. You can run around reactivating comm arrays if you feel like being nice, or shut them down if you'd like to try being a space dick. In general, players are left to make their own fun, which, if you fall in with a good group, many have done with great success, including me. While still in the early stages of development, this testbed is a very solid sign of progress, and like any good sandbox with few tools available, if you're in the mood to be a little creative and use some imagination, it can be a ridiculously fun experience. So that was a brief look at the shape of Star Citizen as of the end of April in 2016. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this game develops over the rest of this year. CIG is trying to get out at least one major update each month, so this video will almost certainly be outdated before very long as new features make their way into the game. I know that the first iterations of Persistence, which will save your character and ship states between play sessions, are coming soon, and there may be other mechanics like mining and salvage on the way as well before the year's out. So if you're still curious about the game and would like to know more, head over to the Roberts Space Industries website and check it out. I'll put the link in the video description below. In the not-too-distant future, I'll be making a video about actually getting started with the game, from first look at the website to flying out of Port Olisar into the test universe. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this overview of Star Citizen. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, play well, have fun, and leave a good-looking loot drop.